Absolutely. Boats are aligned, getting ready for the start, and away we go.
Wow, just like
This
that.
fifth
Quick start.
Varsity 8 race.
So taking another look from the Ford Family Hot Air Balloon closest to the camera here, Brown University in lane 2. Just above them in lane 3 is Princeton. Taking a look at early margins here as both of these crews are in the middle of their high strokes. It looks like Brown with the early advantage. Brown sits up maybe half a boat here as they hit this high rating off the blocks.
It's important to get up to a really quick start in a race like this. You're in a duel. You're going against the other boat. There's no one else there, and it's very personal. You wanna get out and set yourself up for the best possible race that you can put together, because there's another boat right next to you that's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. An explosive start definitely gives you an edge mentally, for sure.
It certainly does. Although, as we know, that advantage, it's nice to have, but there's so much more race to be had. So I think it's important that you stride out to your base effectively. You find a nice sustainable rhythm, which both these crews are looking to do at this stage here. Got another shot here. This is from the media launch. Camera work by Todd Rossi in there. Good angle of the Princeton Tigers. Looks like Brown through the 500-meter mark first. They sit up. Looks to be an open water advantage, so nice early advantage for the Brown Bears. They have to be pretty happy with how this one is starting to develop here.
Absolutely. Although, as we know, it's a race to the 2,000-meter mark, not the 500-meter mark. They won the race to the 500, but there's a lot of race left.
That's right. No medals for getting to the 500 first.
Not
But
yet.
I mean, if you're Brown, you got to be pretty content with what has happened so far. But plenty of water left for the Tigers. I think if you're the Tigers, you got to be thinking about throwing in some big moves here early. You don't want to let Brown get too far away. If they get significant open water advantage, big mental disadvantage if you're Princeton.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying it's not a race to the 500, but this is quite a sizable lead here. And, I mean, as long as they keep and sticking to their game plan, this might be an easy race.
It might be, but we'll see.
Yeah, the key word is might.
You never know what's going to happen here. Looks like Brown striking pretty high here in these fast conditions, 37.5, maybe 38. So they're keeping it pretty high for, much longer than you would expect. Looks like Princeton a little bit more controlled rating. Have them clocked at maybe 34.5, 35. So, they might have a little more room to run later, but I think in these conditions, you have to keep the rating high.
Absolutely. This tailwind will help kick that rating up higher, and so you want to take advantage of that. And if you're not, you're leaving speed out on the table.
We should mention that in these 5Es, you tend to have less experienced rowers. A lot of walk-ons typically fill out these quote-unquote lower boats. So, there's a lot of fresh talent in these boats. There's still a lot of learnings to be had. I would say both these crews rowing really well for, two teams that probably have a lot of walk-on talent in there. So kudos to both these crews. You see a lot of good blade work, a lot of good strokes here, middle stages of this race.
And kudos to their coaches that have taught many of these rowers how to row for the first time, and look at them out there now.
Yeah.
All these athletes look very impressive.
They do. They certainly do. I think gearing up for championship racing season, it looks like both of these crews hitting their stride. Looks like Brown definitely hitting a bit more of a stride here as they sit up, let's call it 2.5 boats of open water over Princeton, continuing to surge ahead. We are well over the halfway mark of this one, in the middle of the third 500, and Brown 5E looking really, really strong, Tommy.
Absolutely. Now, Keenan, if you were Brown Coxon, Will Bennett Jr. from Melbourne, Australia, and you have this kind of margin, what are you saying to your crew right now to keep them engaged to this race?
I think you change the focus to internal. Good shot of the Brown 5E here and rowing really well. I think if you're the coxswain in this boat, you're saying, you know what, guys, let's not be content with this margin. Let's race the time now. You want to put up as fast a time as possible because, as we talk about, Tommy, especially with Eastern Sprint seedings coming out, you want to make sure you're sending a message to the rest of the Eastern Sprints League. We are the fastest 5E. And look at what we were able to do against Princeton.
Really great insight, Keenan. Although I did mention he was from Melbourne, so he would have an accent when he said that.
That's right. That's right. Sorry. Forgot about that. Brown. They are in the middle of the final 500 here, starting to gear up for the line, starting their sprint sequence. They have 250 to go, looking pretty composed here.
And they've officially kicked the Princeton boat out of the drone shot.
That's right. Yeah. Princeton not in the shot, but again, as they gear up, they'll probably build some speed and they might come back in a frame. We'll see. But Brown looking super strong. Final 10 to 15 strokes for this Brown 5V. Not sure what the seedings are, but I would have to imagine that this 5V is probably one of the top seeds heading into Eastern Sprints Championship racing season.
At the end of this race, it seems like they will be the top seed for the Lake Carnegie racing of today in the 5V event.
I think you might be right, Tommy. Final couple strokes. Barring catastrophe, it's going to be Brown. They are through unofficially a time of 5:45. Princeton into the final strokes of their regular season. Building for the line here. Good effort by the Tigers, and unofficially a time of 6:09 for the Tigers. And that's how it's going to end in the men's